What's good, y'all? If you tapped in, you already know who I am. If not, my name is Caleb Drew. Focus on now, think about later. What does that mean? I feel like we live in a generation where we want things now because we're doing the work now. And what you have to understand is life doesn't always work like that. You feel me? It's sometimes good when we have to wait and be patient for certain things. We have to build endurance for certain things. And we have to have the right timing or be in the right season for certain things. Sometimes we can get things prematurely and self sabotage, whether that be a relationship, whether that be finances, whether that be a job, any other category. Sometimes we can get things prematurely and expect things to happen when we're not ready to receive those things. I know it was a point in my relationship where sometimes you can try to force things. Sometimes you can do things too quick. Sometimes you can want to see a result because you know the work that you're putting in, the work that you're putting into yourself, your character. You know the effort that you're putting in, so you want to see the result. But sometimes that result can come too quick. Sometimes that result may not need to come as quick as you want it to because you have to build certain things. You have to be ready and be able to manage and take care of certain things. So sometimes it's better to learn about delayed gratification. What is delayed gratification? Basically, delayed gratification is understanding that, okay, boom, I'm doing this right now for a later cause, for a later result. I may not be doing it now and seeing the result in this moment or seeing the result right off the bat. And as humans, we view that as a bad thing. We view that as a negative thing. And I think that's just a natural human nature. You feel me? We want things quick. We want things right away. We want things to be convenient. So we live in a generation where everything is being made to be convenient for us, right? Tap to pay, fast food, and so many other things. Everything is being made convenient. That way we can get things quicker and we can make things more easier for our lives, which is nothing wrong with that. You feel me? There's a lot of things that I feel are a convenience to me and to us. But there are certain things that we have to understand takes time. Success takes time. Being financially stable takes time. Having a successful and healthy relationship takes time. And most of all, becoming a better person and a better man takes time, or a better woman takes time. So sometimes we put time limits on things and we put time limits on God when sometimes we may need to go at a slower pace. Sometimes we need to enjoy the journey. Sometimes we need to enjoy what it takes to get to where we want to be at. And just have enough faith and have enough belief in ourselves and belief in God that that result is going to come. Right? So what we have to do better at is just sticking to the path, sticking to what it is that we need to do, sticking to our daily task, focusing on what we need to do on a daily basis to get that result. And just know in the back of our head, okay, boom, I may not get this result right now, but I know it's coming. Right? Same way you do with your paycheck. You work, you do your 8 hours, you do your 12 hours, and you may not get paid that day, but boom, next Friday I'm getting paid, or Friday I got this much coming in. And kudos to y'all, because y'all got that luxury of knowing you have a steady paycheck coming in. But when you self-employed, you just got to know, I'm going to put the work in regardless, and whatever come. So it's not always stable, it's not always consistent, but based on the work that you put in, based on the way you run your business, based on the way you carry yourself, that is bound to happen. And that's just you believing in yourself. That's you trusting in the value that you have to offer. So you have to do the same thing with yourself and with other people. You may not get the results of finances that you want to be at. You may not get the women that you want to have right now. You may not get the things that you desire. And sometimes the things that we desire can be the very things that hurt us. So be cool with waiting a little bit longer. Be cool with staying down until you really can come up. You may not can get the best car right now. You may not can get the best shoes right now. But guess what? You're doing the things now so that way 2 years down the line, 6 months down the line, 3 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you can say, okay, boom, I put in this work and I've actually built myself up to where I can actually do these things and it won't hurt me. And I'm not killing my fruit. You feel me? But what we do is we'll kill our fruit because we want things too soon. You trying to build up your savings, but guess what? Boom, these J's just came out, and you just gotta have the J's. Now you buying multiple pairs of shoes and you killing your fruit. When the whole time you was supposed to be saving and stacking your fruit, saving and stacking your bread to move out, to buy you a car, because you had bigger priorities, you had a bigger picture. But you'll kill your fruit for temporary things, for temporary gratification, for temporary dopamine. I think that's the word. And I'm not judging you for it. Like I said, it's a natural human thing. It's a natural instinct that we have. But that's where self-control comes in. That's where patience comes in. That's where enduring comes in. That's where discipline comes in. These are all things that you're not born with. These are things that you have to develop and add to your life as a man in order for you to grow, in order for you to maintain, in order for you to be who you need to be. I don't care what you do. I don't care what race you are, black, white, Mexican, Asian. These are qualities that you have to learn how to develop in order to become who you need to become. And it's never too late to start. It's never too soon to start either. But you have to make a choice to understand, okay, boom, I know where I want to be at. I know the vision that I have. I know where I see myself going. And do what I have to do every day. I'm going to do what I have to do every day. I'm going to focus on what I need to focus on today. That way, down the line, I know where I want to be at. I know the results that I should have. I know the fruit that I should be seeing. And sometimes you don't see that fruit right off the bat. Sometimes you don't see that fruit in the same area that you thought you would. Sometimes you'll see fruit in a different area and be like, okay, bet, let me make this adjustment and pour more into this. Because you never gonna know what life gonna throw you, but you always have to be ready to adjust. You always have to be ready to adapt. So don't get so caught up on things being the same or things being normal or comfortable all the time. Sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to get to a comfortable situation. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get to where you want to be at or where you need to be at. So you might have to work that job that you don't want to work. You might have to stack up a little bit more. You might not be able to take trips. You might not be able to buy all the clothes and the jewelry. You might not be able to kick it with the females that you want to kick it with. And that's okay. But can you have enough self-control, have enough discipline, have enough of a mindset to say, you know what, let me chill out on all this and just lock in and just stick to the code, stay disciplined, do what I need to do so that way I can actually live a lifestyle that's subjective and comfortable for me so that I can bring people into my world and we can fellowship and gather and whatever you want to do together. But sometimes we don't even have the opportunity to make certain choices because we keep killing our fruit, and killing our fruit is keeping us bound. Killing our fruit is keeping us chained to others' times, to other people's time, to other people's authority, to other people's schedule. What do you have for yourself? Because when you're on everybody else's time, the time that you have for yourself becomes limited. So sometimes you gotta buy back your time. Sometimes you gotta buy back your effort. Sometimes you gotta buy back your work. You feel me? But the only way you do that is by staying disciplined. Sometimes by staying down until you can actually come up. Staying down until you have more time. What does that look like? Okay, boom. I worked a 9 to 5 for 2 years, but in the midst of me working on my 9 to 5, I was also working on my side business and my hustle. So I was building a clientele. I was investing in myself. I was saving my money. I was investing my money. So boom, when that 2 years came, I finished school. I got out of school. I got the certificate. I got my license. Now, since I did all that, I got the clientele. I started working, doing more hours towards my business. And the more hours that I put towards my business and my clients, boom, the more money I started making. And then it stopped making sense. Okay, I'm making more in 2 hours doing what I'm doing for my business than working 8 to 12 hours for another person's business. So, all right, bet. I'm in a mindset now. I'm like, all right, bet I'm finna take this serious. So I do more hours in my business, and I keep the same hours in my job. That way, boom, I got a little bit more savings, or boom, if something happened, I can control it and not have to pull from the money that I'm taking from my business, but take it from somebody else's business. So I'm using the job and not letting the job use me. But guess what? That's a mindset thing. Sometimes we get in situations and we just pout about the situation and circumstance that we in. Instead of just locking in, you're changing our mindset and perspective. Like, okay, let me use this so that I can be a betterment to myself. Let me use this so I can catapult my life instead of staying where I'm at. So boom, now that I got the 9 to 5 and the side business, and the side business is doing better than the business, all right, I got enough money stacked up, I got enough money saved and invested. Now I can go full time in what I want to do. And what did that do? That made me be able to make my own schedule. That made me be able to do things on my time. That made me be able to pour into clients, build relationships. And guess what? Since I did it in this business, I invested in another business. And I took the clients that I had from this business and made them other clients for this other business. But guess what? This all comes with vision. This all comes with understanding that things take time. Understanding delayed gratification. Understanding that I'm not going to see the result now, but if I stay disciplined, if I stay with my head down, if I stay around the right people in the right circles, if I stay in the right mindset, it's going to come sooner or later. Because it ain't going to always be like this. So while it's like this, let me change my perspective and have a future perspective to where I can think about now, or where I can focus on now and think about later. That's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe. On the way to 1,000 subs.